Well, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Doug, and this is Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Today, we're going to make a gnocchi recipe, a holiday gnocchi recipe, Italian inspired gnocchi recipe. And this was actually requested by someone on YouTube, left me a message and asked if I would do a gnocchi recipe. So this one, kind of changed it up a little bit from the way I used to do it in the past, but we are not going to make our own gnocchi. We're using a box potato gnocchi Delano. This is actually imported from Italy. We're going to be cooking that up. I'm going to go through all the ingredients with you for this Italian-inspired gnocchi recipe, and I hope you like it. Pretty much our last cooking video for 2025, and I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is the Delalo, I think it's pronounced. Delalo, made in Italy, potato gnocchi uh, box that I'm going to be using. And basically, you just follow the instructions on the box. You're going to boil up some water, add it to the boiling water, and then you cook it for 3 to 4 minutes, stirring occasionally. And then you drain it, and then you can use it for your recipe. So we're using that. So that's why I have a pot here. So it's always good to have a really good pot. They will rise to the top. So keep that in mind. So you just follow the directions on the box or whatever potato gnocchi box you're going to be using. All right, so we have that. Then we're going to be using 2 cloves of garlic. Now, I minced that up myself. You can use minced garlic in a jar like this. Sometimes I use this. But this is not as potent as this. If you use a real, if you use a garlic toe and cut it up, mince it up yourself, all right? But you can use this, it just won't be, it'll be milder. You're going to use 1 tablespoon of butter, about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We have 1 small onion that is diced up. We're using 1 cup of chicken broth. I'm using the unsalted one. We're going to be using half a cup of heavy whipping cream, a pinch of nutmeg, and then we're going to be using 1 teaspoon of chopped up basil, 1 tablespoon of chopped up Italian parsley. We're using 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. We're going to be using half of it for the sauce and then the other half for garnish on top. And then we're going to be using some bacon as another garnish. This is 3 strips of bacon that have been cut up very small. And you can use pancetta. Pancetta, of course, pancetta meaning the belly from the pig. Pancetta is thicker, but I just had bacon in the house today, so I'm using 3 strips of just regular bacon, and I cut it up very small, chopped it up small. And then we're going to also top it with some pine nuts that have been toasted. So that is approximately 2 tablespoons of pine nuts. So all these yummy things, we're going to make our delicious Italian-inspired gnocchi. Stay tuned. Okay, so while our water is heating up over here for gnocchi, We have to boil it first. We'll add a little salt, and then we'll add the gnocchi to it. And then we have to, like I said, it'll rise. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So we're going to start over here in our pan, and we are going to start making our sauce. All right. So I'm putting this on a low to medium flame right now, and we're going to add our 1 tablespoon of butter. We want to melt our butter in our pan. Make sure you use a pretty large frying pan for this. So my butter is melted. Now I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to heat that up. Just mix it with that butter. And now we're going to add our onions. Remember, this is 1 small onion, maybe a little bit more than a half a cup. And we want to cook our onions till they're translucent, so about 3 to 4 minutes. And make sure this is on a low to medium flame. You don't want to have this on a high flame and burn your onions. So low to medium flame. And cook your onions for around 4 minutes. Don't forget, make sure you stir your onions while they're cooking every so often. Now, gnocchi hails from the Lombardy, a province of northern Italy, where the potatoes and soft wheat grown in this region really gave gnocchi their start. So, gnocchi is Italian, in case you didn't know. And this is just my sauce that I came up with. Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully you'll try it. And this is just a really good meal to make. You can make this for Christmas if you wanted to, but it's really good to make around the Christmas time. Maybe as a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be a formal dinner. It could be a casual dinner. And it's not that hard to make, and it tastes delicious. So I'm sure you're going to love it. Now to our onions, we're going to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Remember, I'm a pepper person, so I love my pepper. And I always season my onions as they're cooking, but I'll also season the whole dish later on. And salt and pepper to taste, of course. You know, some people like more salt, more pepper. It's really up to you. Okay. All right, so our onions are pretty much getting translucent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my garlic. Remember, this is 2 garlic toes that I've minced up myself. If you use from the bottle, then don't forget it won't be as potent. It's milder, but you can use that if you want. And you just want to cook up your onions and your garlic together now for just maybe 30 more seconds. You don't want to burn your your garlic. All right, looking good. Okay, so now that we sauteed our aromatics, that smells really good, by the way. Now I'm going to add my chicken broth. We're making our sauce now. That's 1 cup of unsalted chicken broth. And I want my flame to be on a medium flame now. I'm going to stir that. So on that medium flame, we're just going to let the chicken broth kind of come to a simmer. Mix that really nicely. So for maybe about a minute or so. And then to thicken our sauce, We're going to reduce the heat a little bit, and we're going to add our cream. And our cream is going to thicken our sauce a bit. And once that has been done, we're going to sprinkle in just a teaspoon of some flour and just stir that with a whisk. Bring it to a slight boil, and then we're going to cook it for another 3 to 4 minutes. Our water over here is starting to boil for our gnocchi, and that takes 3 to 4 minutes. And then we'll be adding the gnocchi. We'll be adding the gnocchi to the sauce. We're going to add our dry basil, chopped up basil, I should say, fresh basil. Don't use dry basil. Use fresh basil. It's been chopped up, and we're using just a couple of pinches of nutmeg, maybe just a couple of shakes. It's going to give it a nice earthy flavor. Stir that nicely. Yum. Okay, so you can see our water has started to boil. We're just going to add just a little bit of salt. And then here's our gnocchi. And then we're going to add our gnocchi to the boiling water and let that cook. You want to stir it gently a little bit, and they will rise to the top. So this takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, you can see that our sauce here is boiling just a little bit, so we're going to lower the flame and just keep stirring. You can see it's getting a little bit thicker. I don't want it too thick, but this is I think this is a really nice thickness for the gnocchi, the sauce. Okay, so keep stirring it. We're going to go back to our gnocchi over there, stir that a little bit. Okay, let's go back to our sauce here. Very nice. Yum. Okay, so you can kind of see they are rising to the top of there. Hopefully you can see that. And it's been about 3 minutes, so we're going to give it 1 more minute, and they should all rise to the top. That's why it's important to use a big pot like this, so it gives them room to rise. And yeah, and don't forget to stir it occasionally. All right, looking good. All right, so we're going to add our gnocchi to the sauce. And give that a nice toss in the sauce. Toss in the sauce. Yum, look at that. Gnocchi. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use half of the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese to add to the sauce, and the cheese will also help thicken the sauce a little bit. We're only going to use half because we're going to use the other half for garnish. And I'm also using the Italian parsley. Okay, look at that. Smells so good. Oh my gosh. You got to try this. Yum. So stir that nicely. Now you can, of course, make your homemade gnocchi, but sometimes, especially around holiday time, it's just easier to use the box. Once again, this is the one I'm using, the Lalo potato gnocchi, made with 85% potato. This was made in Italy. I actually got this off of Amazon, but of course you can use any brand you want. And this is just going to be really delicious. So we're going to cook this up in the sauce for around 4 more minutes. Just keep stirring it a little bit here and there. You don't want to break up your gnocchi, so just be gentle when you're stirring. And yum. We're also going to add right now some salt and pepper, of course. Please remember salt and pepper to taste. And like I said, this is just a nice little holiday meal. Christmas time. Perfect. All right, I think that's enough pepper. Yum. All these delicious flavors. And like I said, that nutmeg is just going to make it really nice and earthy. All right, now we're going to add the bacon, and we're going to also add the pine nuts and the rest of the Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese. And have a taste test. So we're going to add our gnocchi to this bowl here. Serving bowl. You can fill the whole thing up, of course. Let's see. Look at that yummy sauce. With that cheese. It smells so good. I hope you try this recipe. Let me know if you try it and if you like it. I want to hear from you guys. And thank you to all my subscribers for all these years of support and watching my videos. I think I have like close to 600 videos. Anyway, so there's the gnocchi. Look at that. So now we're going to add our bacon to the top. I'm going to leave extra for any more. Our pine nuts. Look at that, how beautiful it looks with the pine nuts and that bacon. I love the contrast of the colors too, by the way. And then a little coating of snow. Of course, the Parmesan cheese. Let's add that. And look how beautiful that looks. I cannot wait to take a taste of that. Oh wow. It tastes so good with the bacon, the pine nuts, the toasted pine nuts, the Parmesan cheese. Oh my gosh, that sauce. The gnocchi itself is delicious. Oh my God, so good. I hope you give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas and Happy Healthy Living. Bye-bye.